Hello and welcome to Lulus training update. This week we've been working a lot on e-collar and getting her commands a little bit more reliable. Lulu's been a little bit tricky because she doesn't want to take food for anything. So I know when you came in that first week and we did that lesson, we were showing you how we were starting the healing with the food. She would take food for like a minute, 3 minutes tops at a time, only in the training building. So we were able to start a foundation, but she wouldn't take anything more past that, and she now only wants to eat food on place. So we've resorted to mostly using petting and praise. Her kennel manners have been coming along really nicely. I tell her kennel, I open it up, I put her gear on, I'm walking away to proof it a little bit, and then when I come back, I tell her free, then she is allowed to exit the kennel. She knows that we stop and sit at this doorway every time before we go out. I tell her good, I pet and praise, and then she's going to try to get up early. So then I just tell her no and apply some leash pressure up so that she'll go back into the sit, and then I release her. We do e-collar conditioning for all of our commands, which I will show you, but we did start using the e-collar early for the kennel behaviors because, she was really not wanting to go in. Or when you would try to close it, she would shove her head up against the kennel door, so you couldn't close it. So we did start using the e-collar for that, and she stopped. Her place command is great. She understands it really well. Place. Our rules for place are all 4 feet on the bed and no barking. This is the only place she likes to eat food, so this is where we typically feed her. I know we've talked about this a little bit before, but our 3Ds, place is a great opportunity to practice those 3Ds, being distance, duration, and distraction. So how far can I get away from her? How long will she stay there? And what distractions will she stay under? So she's been practicing place around other dogs, lots of distraction, long line, flexi. So I left her on place for a moment, and then she's gonna stay. I'm gonna come right back. What's really important to notice when we're working on anything that involves a stay, so place, sits, and then eventually when we get to down, is footwork. So I'm always in her heel position. That's where we want her reward histories, her release commands, and such to come from. So I'm not going to be across the room and tell her free, because I don't want her ever anticipating getting up and running off the place board. Not that I think that's an issue she particularly is going to have, but we always come back into the heel position before we reward or release. So with the footwork, you'll see I'm going to tell her free, and then I'm going to step forward with my left foot. Free. If I wanted her to stay on place, I would say place and step off with my right foot. So left is with me, right is away from me. It helps if you think of heeling, where the dog is on our left. So if we want the dog moving with us, we're going to move our left leg. And this will be less important later on, but it's very helpful while the dog is still learning. Place. So right here, if you watch the e-collar remote, you can see how I'm starting e-collar conditioning. Good. So the repetitions that I did before this, there was no e-collar. I was just refreshing her, go to place, stay on place, get rewards, release, send to place, stuff like that. So now what I'm doing is I'm starting some stim, telling her place, and then I'm tap, tap, tap until she gets to the place bed, and then the e-collar shuts off and she gets her reward. So this way we're showing her how to control the e-collar so that she understands corrections. So she feels it, I tell her place, she goes, what's that feeling? She gets to the place bed, the stim goes away, and she gets a reward. So we're teaching her how to turn it off. I used a 10 for her conditioning level. Typically it's lower, but she is a pretty strong dog. She's not very sensitive. You'll find that when you go to correct her, usually it takes like a 30 plus, sometimes like 50. She's not sensitive. So when it comes to distractions, we can do anything aside from saying her name or using any sort of recall. Anything else is fair distractions to work on. So I'm just throwing her distractions and then waiting for her to make a choice. And that was the choice she chose, which was the right one, so now I'm going to go back and reward her.
Good.
If she had decided to come off of the bed, I would have said no, given a correction, and then reminded her place. This is just me messing around, trying to get her to come off the bed. She's not going to. The only time we found she ever wants to break the place is if she's just bored. So just consistency and saying, no, you have to be bored over here. Communication is the number one thing when it comes to working with your dog. So you give her a command. If she breaks a command, no, correction, and tell her what she did wrong. And your timing is important. I know you're really good at timing, so making sure everything predicts each other. So no only has meaning because of the consequence that follows. And it's going to be the same exact thing with our reward markers. So our good, which is our continuation, typically you'll see me petting her, or our yes, which is our reward and release. No, heel. So that right there was a really good example of what our leash correction should look like. She broke heel position. We don't want her going too far off to the side, too far forward, lagging too far behind. She is a slower dog, so usually if she's lagging behind, I'll try to talk to her, make some sounds, pick up my pace a little bit. Sometimes we have to be careful correcting dogs for being too far behind us, because sometimes it makes them want to stay back a little bit more. And I am correcting her for these things like the kennel and healing, because she knows them. We've had her for a few weeks. She knows these things. She's just going, I don't really want your reward, so I'm not really gonna. So now she's at this point where I'm taking these things that she's learned and saying, okay, now that you understand them, you do have to do them. And you'll see in this session here that it gets better the longer the session goes on. So in the beginning, I have to correct her quite a few times, and then towards the end, she's doing it very well on her own. And that's how we know that our training is effective. Our communication is working. And I find that she really does enjoy the things she's doing while she's doing them. Like healing, when she's actually healing and she's engaged, I find that she enjoys it. I think she just kind of gets bored and goes, oh, well, something else is more interesting. Our heel does have an automatic stop and sit, so if I come to a stop, she is expected to sit at my side and stay there until I release her. All of our commands have an implied stay. So heel means stay in heel position right at my left foot until I tell you otherwise. So that would either be a free or a yes. Around this time is when I am also doing some e-collar conditioning for the heel. So she's healing with me, she's doing good. She comes a little bit out of position. Tap, heel, tap, tap. And as soon as she comes back into position, it shuts off. And typically in the beginning stages, you got to help them a little bit. So I'll start the sim, heel, tap, tap. And while I'm tapping, I'll make little kissy sounds, puppy, puppy, speed up a little bit, whatever I have to do just for her to make that clear connection of when she comes back into heel position, the stim shuts off. And at this point, the e-collar isn't a correction, it's just communication. It's like a little blinker saying, hey, this is wrong, this is wrong. And then as soon as she fixes it, wow, right? So we like to think of it like a seatbelt. So you don't plug in your seatbelt, your car dings at you, it dings at you, it dings at you. It's annoying. And then as soon as you buckle it, it stops. This is the same concept. This is what we call negative reinforcement.
Good. Heel. No. Heel.
Another thing you may find with her is she sometimes will try to refuse sitting at doorways if she doesn't want to go that way.
Heel.
She's gotten a lot better about it lately. But it was an issue for a moment where we'd try to bring her back into the kennel building, and she would be like, I'm not sitting, I'm not doing that because I don't want to go back inside. So we do just make her follow through. I use the leash. If she's sitting too far behind me or not wanting to sit, then I'll just tell her to heel, and I'll walk in like a little circle and come right back up to the door. So sometimes I reset. If I try to do something with a dog and they are not successful, I will reset and give them the opportunity to do it the correct way. At this point in her training, I'm giving her a lot of extra communication, a lot of extra praise, some extra help, simply because of the fact that she isn't wanting to take a lot of rewards from me. So I'm really trying to help her see what is good, what is not good, when I don't have something that greatly motivates her.
Good. Heel. Good. Good. Nice. Heel. No. Heel. Good. Good. Heel. Good. Good. Heel. Good.
Unfortunately, this is when I realized she had an upset stomach. She was a little liquidy when she came in on Monday, but she got better throughout the week. Here we are starting recalls, so I knew it was going to be really difficult to teach her a recall if she wasn't going to take food from me. So we did go back to the beef liver for this. She loves beef liver. If you use beef liver, she will work with you all day. It is a very high value reward. So we're just using it for behaviors that really need it. So we started it with the kennel, and now we're using it for the recall. So in the beginning, I'm just letting her be a little distracted, calling her name. As soon as she comes back, reward. She was doing really good with that because I paired her name with heal a lot. So sometimes I go Lulu to get her attention, and then I tell her to heal. So she started to realize, hey, when you say my name, you're about to give me feedback that is important. So at this point, I'm calling her back. She's coming back. So now I'm showing her come back and get into heal position. Our recall is essentially like a second heal command. So we want it to mean come back, get into heal, and stay there until I say otherwise. We do this because if you teach a dog a recall and you don't give them a stationary position to go into, sometimes you'll get a dog that likes to do drive-bys. So they'll come back and then they'll just keep going. Or they'll start coming back and then they'll just veer off. Next week, I'm going to start pairing the e-collar with the recall. So here we just went to work on some house manners, sit at doorways, wait until you're released. I did have some food out. I wanted to see if she had any counter surfing I could work on, but I didn't see anything. If she does struggle with counter surfing at all at home, we're going to use what we call unconditioned punishment. So we're going to use a decently high level on the e-collar without giving a marker. So we're not going to tell her no. We're just going to go straight to the e-collar. We don't want her to see, I'm telling you no and you're getting in trouble because I'm communicating to you that that's bad. We would rather it be a little bit more of a natural punishment, if that makes sense. So you just go to steal food off the counter and it's wrong. It has nothing to do with if I can see you, if I'm watching you. It's just trying to steal food off the counter has a negative consequence.
Good girl.